Good morning. Our lecture today is a numerical example about demand, supply, equilibrium, and elasticity. Here is our example. Q equals 40 minus 2P and Q equals 3P. Requirement number 1 is to calculate, carefully graph these demand and supply functions, or we can write it as plot demand and supply. In order to be able to draw these linear demand and supply functions, we have to find 2 points for each. Or in other words, we have to find a demand schedule with just two price levels. For simplicity, we can use when price is 0 and the equilibrium price. When price is 0, quant demanded will be 40, which is the value of the intercept of the demand function, and the quantity of supply will be 0, which is the value of the intercept of the supply function. The second point is to find the equilibrium price and the quantity. Equilibrium will be achieved when QD equals QS, which is 40 minus 2P equal 3P. After rearranging the equation, it will be 40 equals 5P. So the equilibrium price will be 8. Now we have to substitute in QD or QS to find the equilibrium quantity. So it will be 24. So the second point is 8 and 24 and 24. Now we can draw demand and supply functions. So as we said, point number 1 is 0 and 40. When price is 0, quantity is 40. When price is 8, quantity is 24. So connect the 2 points together. This is the demand curve with respect to supply. When price is 0, quantity is 0. And when price is 8, quantity is 24. So this is the supply curve. Point of intersection of demand and supply is point of equilibrium at 24 and 8. So this is number 1. Number 2, calculate equilibrium price and the quantity. Already we have calculated equilibrium price and the quantity, so this is number B. Number C, calculate price elasticity of demand at equilibrium. At equilibrium means that we have only one point or only one price. So this is point elasticity, not arc elasticity. So in case of point elasticity, elasticity is going to be calculated as a change in QD over a change in price multiplied by B over Q. This is the slope of the demand function, so we can write it as negative B multiplied by B over Q. Slope of demand function is 2, so it's negative 2 multiplied by 8, which is the equilibrium price, over 24, which is the equilibrium quantity. So it is negative 0.667. Take the absolute value and neglect the negative sign. So the absolute value is less than 1, so it is inelastic demand. Number D, calculate price elasticity of supply at equilibrium. So it is the same, but with respect to supply, not demand. Elasticity of supply is the slope of the supply function, which is D multiplied by B over Q. D is 3 multiplied by 8 over 24, so it is 1. So this is unit elastic supply. Okay, number E. If people expect the prices, just expectation, there isn't any actual change or increase in prices. They expect the prices to increase. As a result, the quantity changes by 20 at each price level. What is the new equilibrium price and the quantity? First of all, in order to be able to answer this question, we have to identify whether expected future price is one of the factors affecting demand or supply. Number 2, whether it's going to increase or decrease the value of the supply or the demand, or both of them. With respect to expected future prices, it will affect both demand and supply. So we have to find new demand function and new supply function. If you are a consumer of a commodity and you hear that prices are going to increase after a month, so today you are going to buy more and more goods and services before the increase or the actual change in the price level. So in this case, demand will increase. Demand will increase by 20 units. So we have new demand function, which is Q equals 60 minus 2B. With respect to supply, if you are a producer of a commodity and your objective is to maximize profit, and you hear that the price of the product will increase after 1 month. So today you have to decrease the quantity and then resell it after the actual change or actual increase in price level. So quantity supplied will decrease by the value by 20 units. So this is the old supply function. It's gonna decrease. So the slope will be negative 20 plus 3p. So the new equilibrium will be achieved when QD equals the QS. So 60 minus 2p equals negative 20 plus 3p. After rearranging the equation, it will be 80 equals 5p. So the equilibrium price will be 16. Now we have to substitute in QD or QS to find the equilibrium quantity. It's 28. This should be illustrated graphical. When you are going to draw a shift for demand or supply or both of them, you have to draw the initial demand and supply and then make the shift. Just like the initial situation, you have to find 2 points in order to be able to draw the graph. When price is 0, quantity demanded is 60 and the quantity supplied is negative 20. When price is 16, quantity demanded is 28 and the quantity supplied is 28. When price is 0, quantity is 60. When price is 16, quantity is 28. So this is the new demand function. With respect to supply, when price is 0, quantity supplied is negative 20. and when price is 16, quantity is 28. So this is the new supply function. So from this we can conclude that as people expect the prices to increase, demand will increase and demand curve will shift to the right. And supply will decrease and supply curve will shift to the left. As a result, equilibrium quantity is going to increase from 24 to 28 and equilibrium price is going to increase from 8 to 16. Next point. Calculate price elasticity of demand between old and the new equilibrium points. This is arc elasticity. We have two prices and two quantities. The old equilibrium price is 8 and the quantity is 24. The new equilibrium price is 16 and the quantity is 28. So elasticity in this case is going to be calculated as Q2 minus Q1 divided by B2 minus B1 multiplied by Q2 plus Q1, multiplied by B2 plus B1 over Q2 plus Q1. So it will be 28 minus 24 divided by 16 minus 8 multiplied by 16 plus 8 divided by 28 plus 24. Then you have to find the value. If it's greater than 1, this is elastic demand. If it's less than 1, this is inelastic demand. If it's 1, so it's unit elastic demand. Number G. If income increases from 1,000 to 1,200 as a result, and the commodity is normal, as a result, the quantity changes by 10 at each price level. Now we have to return to the initial demand function and the initial supply function. If income increases, income is one of the factors that affect the demand. So we have to find the new demand function. Income increases and the commodity is normal. So demand will increase in this case. So we have to find the new demand function as this is the old one. Just as the intercept is going to change by the value of the change due to change in one of the factors of production. In the question, it is 10. So it's going to increase by 10. So the new demand function will be 50 minus 2b. And the supply function will be 3b. We have to find the equilibrium. Equilibrium will be achieved when QD equals QS. So 50 minus 2b equals 3b. So it's 50 equals 5b. Equilibrium price is 10. Substitute in QD or QS to find the equilibrium quantity. It's 3 multiplied by 10, which is 30. So this is the equilibrium quantity. This should be illustrated graphical. Just draw the initial demand and supply functions. In order to be able, we have to find 2 points for the new demand. This is B and this is QD. When price is 0, quantity is 50. When price is 10, quantity is 30. So these are the 2 points that will be used in order to be able to draw the new line. When price is 0, it's 50. When price is 10, it's 30. So this is the new demand curve. As income increases and the commodity is normal, demand will increase and demand curve will shift to the right. As a result, equilibrium quantity increases from 24 to 30 and equilibrium price increases from 8 to 10. Number H. Calculate income elasticity of demand. What is the type of the commodity? Income elasticity is calculated as Q2 minus Q1 divided by I2 minus I1 multiplied by I2 plus I1 over Q2 plus Q1. We have to find Q1 and Q2 and I1 and I2. In the last point, we said that as income increases from 1,000 to 1,200, so I1 is 1,000 and I2 is 1,200. And we have calculated the equilibrium quantity as 24 in the initial situation, which is at income 1,000, and 30 after the increase or the change in income level. So now we can substitute in the equation. It's 30 minus 24 divided by 1,200 minus 1,000 multiplied by 1,200 plus 1,000 divided by 30 plus 24. It's 1.2. Sign is positive, so the commodity is normal. And the value is greater than 1, so the demand is elastic. The last point. If price of factors of production decreases, as a result, quantity changes by 5 at each price level. What is the new equilibrium price and the quantity? Price of factors of production is one of the factors that affect supply. So we have to refer to the initial demand and supply functions. As we said, price of factors of production decrease. Price of factors of production, one of the factors that affect the supply. When price of factors of production decrease, supply will increase by 5. So we have to find the new supply function, where Q equals 5 plus 3B. Now we have to find the equilibrium. Equilibrium will be achieved when QZ equals QS. So it's 40 minus 2B equals 5 plus 3B. It's after the rearranging the equation, it's 35 equals 5B. So equilibrium price will be 7. Now you have to substitute in QZ or QS to find the equilibrium quantity. It's 5 plus 3 multiplied by 7, which is 26. So this is the equilibrium quantity. In order to be able to draw the new supply function, we have to find 2 points. When price is 0, quantity supplied would be 5, and when price is 7, quantity supplied would be 26. This is the initial demand and supply function, and then we have to draw the new supply. When price is 0, quantity supplied is 5, and when price is 7, quantity supplied is 26. So this is the new supply function. As price of factors of production decrease, quantity supplied is going to increase, and supply curve will shift to the right. Equilibrium quantity will increase from 24 to 26, and the equilibrium price will decrease from 8 to 7. This is the end of our problem. Thank you and see you next week.